Hello, everybody. Hello. My name is attorney Michelle Perez. I am one of the founding attorneys here at Saavedra Perez Law. Um, Let me just make sure we are live on all our social medias. Here we are. Okay. So, hi everybody. My name is Michelle Perez. I am one of the founding attorneys here at Saavedra Perez Law. We founded this firm back in February or January because of our history with clients and how we feel very connected to their stories. And we wanted to create a firm that was generated based on clients and just providing the best service that we can for our clients because we understand their situation. Isabel Saavedra, my business partner, wonderful, beautiful person inside and out. She was undocumented for 10 years of her life. So she was in that situation. And she feels many of the same fears that immigrants feel now, the fear of seeing a police officer, the fear of going to an airport, the fear of flying domestically, just the everyday fears that you have, knowing that one day someone can just pick you up and throw you into a country that maybe you fear returning to or that you've never been. I am a daughter of immigrants. And so my parents came here from Dominican Republic, and I have helped my father's situation. He is a lawful permanent resident, and he had some situations in the past. Um, and I was able to help him get a special waiver so that he can stay in the country and he wouldn't be deported. Um, so when I became an attorney, I helped my father. I built up my experience. I made sure that I was experienced enough for my father, and I want to be experienced enough for our clients. And so when I submitted that waiver for my father, I knew that I did the best that I could. And it was actually approved last year. And now he's on his way to becoming a citizen. So I lived with that fear of what if I don't do this right? What if I mess up? This is my father's life. And so I bring that same energy and that same, I'm going to make sure I do this right for my clients. Um, because I know that fear that maybe your loved one has when their loved one, you, the immigrant, the client, is facing deportation, because I felt that fear. And I know my mom felt that fear. And I know my siblings felt that fear, not knowing if my father was going to be deported or not. So I feel like together, me and Isabel have different perspectives and different fears that come from being a family of immigrants. And so we bring that into our firm. And that's why we established Saavedra Perez Law. It's for the clients, it's for the immigrants, because we want to be with you at every step of the way through your process. And we vow that that is what we're going to do. And whether it's a simple or complicated case, we are going to be here for you. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of taste of why we started Saavedra and Perez, and why we feel so strongly about helping the community, helping other immigrants, because we know exactly how they feel, and we have felt those fears in the past. So I'm also here for you to answer your immigration questions. So if you have any questions, we are live on all our social medias, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We also have TikTok. So if you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Also, we just released new news. We will be in Springs Pantry in East Hampton, New York in less than 2 weeks. So we are very, very excited. We're going to be in East Hampton, New York, doing 2-day free events at the Springs Pantry in East Hampton. where we'll be providing free consultations for the community. So if you do live in that area, please come by, even if you don't need a free consultation and just want to say hi. Maybe if you're in the area, if you're a client of ours or your previous client of me and Isabel's before we started Saavedra Perez, just come by and say hi. We always love to see people in person. Love to see our clients in person. So we will be in East Hampton May 14th and May 15th. We will be there with a big team. Okay, it's going to be me, Isabel. We're going to have our marketing director, Natalia Saavedra, and we're also going to have, so excited, we're going to have our case manager, Marcela Melendez, fly out, and she will be there with us. So we are super, super excited to have her come out to this event with us. So you'll see a lot of photos and videos of all the four of us together. I'm really excited for this event and just to be able to speak to the community and meet some of the community members. So yes, I'm very excited. So if anybody has any questions, please put in the comments below. And I can answer any of those for you. También yo hablo español. Mi inglés es más bueno que mi español, ¿no? Pero yo puede, si tiene algunas preguntas en español, yo lo puede hacer también. So let me just see. Okay, so we have one question from Leo. USCIS me notificó que recibió mi solicitud de agregar biometrics por visa U. ¿Cuánto tarda? Ok. Esa es una buena pregunta. Muchas de las preguntas son cuándo va a ser mi cita para los biometrics o los huellas. Después de entregar un visa o una aplicación para USCIS. So, ese es que cuando nosotros o cuando alguien manda sus aplicaciones a la inmigración, normalmente está cogiendo como 6 meses para la entrevista, por la cita para los biometrics. Y los biometrics o los huellas solamente es para coger los huellas y ver que usted dice que usted es la persona que dice, ¿no? So, normalmente va a coger como 6 meses. Estoy viendo que está cogiendo 6 meses. So for those that speak English, the question was, I just submitted my U visa and I want to know how long does it take to get my appointment for my biometrics. So for your biometrics, is usually taking about 6 months is what I've seen after submitting an application to USCIS. Okay, and for those of you that don't know what a U visa is, a U visa is a special humanitarian visa for victims of a crime. And it has to be a violent crime. It could be felony assault, right? But it's usually a qualifying, it has to be a qualifying crime. So it has to be a certain crime. And you have to prove that you assisted the police officers or like going after your persecutor, right? If you were a victim or your spouse or your children were victims. Right now, the U visas are taking like 6, 7, 8 years. So they're taking quite a while to be adjudicated. But during that time, I've been seeing work permits coming after maybe about 1.5 to 2 years. And they're called bona fide work permits. So while you're waiting for your U visa to be decided, immigration has allowed work permits to be sent out to those with pending U visa applications. So I had a client that had a 2017 U visa, and they received their work permit probably last year. So they're working through the older ones to get those older U visas, their work permits. But that's usually how it works with U visas. Okay, let's see if we have any more questions. We do. Let me see. Oh, we have a lot of questions. Okay, I will try to get to your questions. Okay. Ok, Alex tiene una pregunta en español. ¿Te puede deportar aunque ya tengas permiso de trabajo y seguro social? Alex, eso es una buena pregunta. La respuesta es depende en su situación, ¿no? Solamente si tiene un permiso de trabajo y seguro social, eso no dice que estás protegido o usted no lo puede deportar. Todo depende en por qué usted tiene ese permiso de trabajo. Si tiene alguna aplicación pendiente en frente de corte o frente de USCIS, es edición de esa aplicación va a ser razón si lo van a deportar o no. Si lo negaron la aplicación por tal vez un asilo, ¿no? Así ellos lo pueden deportar. No importa si todavía tiene un permiso de trabajo y seguro social, pero todo depende en qué tipo de permiso de trabajo tiene. Y usted puede ver en la carta que dice el category. El category te va a decir a usted por qué usted tiene ese permiso de trabajo. ¿Ok? Perfect. Tenemos muchas preguntas. Ana, valiente abogada, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy you're on our lives, Ana. Gracias para ver a nosotros. Y un día vamos a ver en persona, ¿no? Estoy feliz por eso. Okay, let's see. Other questions. Okay, sentence for voluntary manslaughter, can deportation be canceled? He has TPS and pending green card. That's a very good question. I'm glad you asked. So I was just talking about voluntary manslaughter the other day. So that's a really good question. And to understand my history, I've worked with a lot of federal criminal convictions, and clients have had federal cases before and that have been in the process of deportation in immigration court. So this is, I don't want to say it's my specialty, but it's one of the things that I've done a lot of it. I have a lot of experience in, and that I actually enjoy because there's a tie to my heart because my father has a similar situation. And so I really like to focus on clients that maybe have a past. Everybody has a past, right? And it doesn't mean that they're a bad person or that they don't deserve to be in the United States. And I help those people depending on your criminal conviction or your circumstances to see if you are eligible to remain here in the United States. So voluntary manslaughter can cause deportation, and it might cause his TPS to be denied. Voluntary manslaughter just means that you did something to cause the death of another, right? And so depending on the state that he was prosecuted in or he was convicted of, and depending on their laws, you might get deported, or you might be be threatened to be deported because of the factors involved in that manslaughter. So, for example, if there are aggravating factors, which just means that there's some serious factors that came behind that manslaughter. So if you were driving drunk, okay, and you hit somebody, that can be an aggravating factor that makes it deportable, and it makes it an aggravated felony. So if you do have an aggravated felony, you can get deported from the United States. There are ways, depending on your situation and depending on the circumstances, to waive that aggravated felony in court. You have to have a special history, and you need to call me. You need to call me for a consultation. We're doing free consultations. I can evaluate your case to see if there's something I can help you with, especially if it's voluntary manslaughter. Please call, and I can take, we do 30 to 45-minute consultations for free with an attorney, and I'll be able to evaluate your case and see if there might be any concern, or to see how I can help you not get deported. Okay. Let's see. Other questions? Ok, en español, en este momento, ¿cuánto tiempo tarda la I-130 de ciudadanos americanos? El partido desde 4 meses. Ok, so la pregunta es que usted mandó una petición de matrimonio porque está casado con un americano, ¿no? Y ahora mismo se pasó 4 meses, ¿ok? So, 4 meses es normal. Normalmente puede coger un año para el petición de matrimonio para una decisión. Y normalmente tenemos entrevista, pero en algunas situaciones ellos lo pueden aprobar sin entrevista. ¿Okay? Ok, tenemos más preguntas en español. Si aplicó para apartamentos debajo de ingresos me afecta si me quiere hacer ciudadano. Ok, perdón, EPR. Si aplicó para apartamentos debajo de ingresos de agricultura, me afecta si me quiero hacer ciudadano. Llama para una consulta por esa pregunta, porque no estoy entendiendo qué es aplicando para apartamentos debajo de ingresos de agricultura. Me afecta. Si usted está hablando de los ayudos de gobierno, no, eso no va a afectar si quiere ser ciudadano. Hay algunas cosas que puede afectar cuando estás tratando de ser ciudadano de Estados Unidos y normalmente se ve en el carácter de la persona en los últimos 5 años y también puede ver si tienes arrestos en el pasado para ver si lo pueden afectar o lo pueden deportar por esas razones, ¿no? Y también se ve si usted está pagando los impuestos, los taxes, lo pueden ver eso. Y también lo van a ver los viajes de alguna persona. Si estás viajando mucho, estás fuera de país mucho tiempo, ahí ellos lo van a ver si están en el país más que está fuera de país. Y van a ver los últimos 5 años o 3 años si estás casado con un americano. Y también yo digo a mis clientes, si tienes niños que están menor de edad, ellos quieren ver que usted está pagando child support o está pagando el corte para el child support o si usted está manteniendo ellos con dinero, ¿no? So, esos son los más importantes preguntas para inmigración cuando está viendo si lo van a dar las ciudadano. Perdón. Okay. Okay. How long is USCIS I-130 parents of U.S. citizens processing for approval? Saucy, that's a very great question. Right now, I-130 parents of U.S. citizens processing for approvals. Parents of U.S. citizens. Okay. So right now it should be taking, and I can see what USCIS is processing them for, but it should be taking about a year or less than for an I-130 from U.S. citizen children petitioning for their parents. If you are a U.S. citizen parent petitioning for your child, it depends on their age how long that's taking. So if you're a U.S. citizen parent petitioning for your child that is over 21 years old and married or whatnot, those are taking probably more than expected because they're not considered priority. So they might be taking like 2 years, I believe. You won't be able to get a visa to come into the United States before then just because they're not priority for immigration, meaning they don't prioritize those types of visas and getting them into the country. What they do prioritize is U.S. citizen spouses. They prioritize minor U.S. citizens, parents petitioning for their minor children. And they prioritize U.S. citizen children who are over the age of 21 that are requesting their parents. Those are the 3, what they call immediate relatives, where they are they're considered them more priority. Okay. Ok, tenemos una pregunta en español. Bendiciones, Lucy. Se aplicó para el asilo y se le negaron para aplicar para otra, puede aplicar por otra visa. Sí puede aplicar por otra visa. Esto es una pregunta que algunos clientes me preguntan muchas veces y es una buena pregunta, ¿ok? So, cuando alguien aplica, puede ser por asilo, puede ser por otro tipo de visa, usted no solamente tiene que aplicar por una visa. Si usted está elegible para muchos visas o 2, 3 visas, usted puede aplicar por los 3 al mismo tiempo. So, por ejemplo, normalmente hay veces que alguien puede aplicar por una VAWA. VAWA es un visa especial y el mismo momento puede aplicar por un T visa o visa T. Y es razón que algunas personas hacen los dos y también asilo. Si tiene un caso por asilo, puede aplicar por eso también. Y si tiene los 3 pendientes, eso no es algo malo. Eso es tratando de ver cuál va a ser aprobado, ¿no? Cuál va a ser la manera más buena para usted. Hay algunos beneficios para VAWA que no hay ahora mismo para T-Visa, como un permiso de trabajo, y también hay otras oportunidades con asilo que no está pasando por otras maneras. So, usted sí puede aplicar por los visas que está elegible. So, puede pedir por 3, 4, 5 visas si estás elegible. ¿Ok? Eso es una buena pregunta, Lucy. Gracias por preguntar eso. Perfect. Let's see. Ok, tenemos otra pregunta. Mimi Gómez. Ya me enviaron correo y ya aprobaron mi formulario 705 y tengo que esperar. Perdón, Mimi, ¿cuál es su pregunta? Para las personas que no saben, el 765 es el permiso para trabajar. Y si ya lo aprobaron, su 605 ya puede empezar a trabajar el mismo día. Ya tiene un permiso de trabajo para trabajar. Y también al mismo tiempo lo van a enviar un Social Security si lo dicen en la aplicación que quiere un Social Security también. ¿Okay? Ok. Paulina tiene una pregunta. Hola, si puede viajar con residencia temporal de matrimonio, la de 2 años. Eso es una buena pregunta, Paulina, y sí puede viajar con la residencia temporal de matrimonio. Normalmente yo dice porque ahora mismo para conseguir sus 10 años está cogiendo mucho tiempo. So, si su tarjeta de residencia ya venció, es expired, usted tiene que ir a USCIS para coger algo en su pasaporte que dice que de extended, ¿no? Que tiene más de 2 años de proof, de prueba. So usted puede viajar fuera del país con eso prueba. But in English, she was asking if she can fly with her temporary resident card or conditional status, the one of 2 years. So there's 2 types of green card holders, no? 2 years and 10 years. And the difference is that the 2 years is specifically for those that have married a U.S. citizen spouse, and it's been less than 2 years that they've been married. once that application is approved. So what happens is, what immigration does is that if you've been married for less than 2 years, they kind of question your marriage, and they want to make sure that you married for, not for immigration reasons, but for true love, and because you wanted to be together. So what they do is they issue you a 2-year green card, what they call a conditional residency or a temporary residency. And before the 2 years, you're supposed to apply for your permanent residency, which is your 10-year residency. And during that process, if you're still together, you will file a waiver together to quitar, or to take off that conditional status. And that's where they will question you again. You would have to provide more proof that during those 2 years after being approved the green card, that you were in a bona fide relationship, meaning you were in a real relationship. So that usually means submitting, joint taxes, if you had any children together, if you had lease agreements together, if you had bills, credit cards, bank statements together. They want to see that you have invested in life together, and that you wanted to be married for love and not for immigration papers. So that's what you have to resubmit to obtain your permanent residency. And if you submit that, then you're great. And the big question is, what happens if I get divorced, or what happens if I separate, or what happens if I'm no longer with them? There is a process where you can ask for a waiver, and that is waiving your spouse's signature on your application. It's called your 751. It is to take away your conditional status. And what that does is you have to then prove on your own that you did the intentions of when you were married, the intentions were to be married, bona fide, that your intentions were to have established a life together, and that during the time that you got your green card, your temporary green card, to the point where you separated or divorced, that it was real and you guys were living together and your intentions were real. So that's a little bit of a different kind of process. In some situations, it might be a little bit scary to try to do it on your own. So I would recommend that you contact an attorney. You can contact us for prices, for quotes, to see if you're eligible. If you are in that situation, just call our number 571-583-0791 to try to do. You can do a free consultation with us. We're currently doing free consultations. Okay. I only have 1 more minute left, so I just want to remind everybody about our in-person event that we are having in East Hampton, New York, in less than 2 weeks. We're super excited about this event. We're going to be in person, 4 of us together. We're going to have a lot of fun just being able to be together as a team. It's going to be me, Isabel Saavedra, our marketing director, Natalia Saavedra, and also our case manager, Marcela Melendez. We are so excited for that day. We can't wait to all be together, and we're going to be providing some great free consultations for the community at Springs Pantry in East Hampton. We'll also be doing some other events here and there, meeting with the community. But if you are in the area, please reach out. Even if you don't need a free consultation, just come by, say hi, hit us up. We'll meet you for lunch, for coffee. I don't care. We want to be able to be there for you guys. So thank you so much for your time today. We'll be on again next week. Tuesday, Isabel Saavedra at 1 p.m. Eastern, and me next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for your time, everybody, guys. Bye.